I think we are live, right?
Should
Okay,
be.
so welcome, guys. Today is Thursday, 12:02 Eastern Time. This is our first episode of our new podcast. We call Unapologetic Signal, um, made for humans, I believe. That's one of the few ways that we still have to be pure human. That's why we decide to go live every Thursday. I'm Joe Zamboni, and I have here with me my co-host, Rodrigo Matos. How are you, Rodrigo?
Hey, Joe. Doing well. Thank you for having me. And we are trying to talk to humans, but nothing will stop AI from reading the transcript of the podcast and learning something, I guess.
Yeah, that is, well, different than many people say, like they're not using AI. We are using AI, but
Yeah.
for many things. But the idea today is talk a little bit about the good and old AI demo. So why so many demos go wrong? Like even when you look at big AI companies like Anthropic and Claude with Claude and OpenAI, and don't stop there. Like everybody that uses their platform, they go demo AI, and the demos don't match. Sometimes they have problems, but most of the times when you're going to try the software or the LLM, they don't do exactly what they promise, right? So, and when the Claude or OpenAI or Anthropic or any other company goes to with a demo, and we saw that many times. What we have, or they do there, is they have clean data, curate prompts, like a happy path, complete happy path, and all the structure works in the demo. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we see these days with AI.
That's true, right? But don't you think that this is also not just AI? Because software demos, of course, you have like Microsoft blue screen, famous like Windows demo, that kind of stuff, and even Apple had issues during their live demos. But most of the demos are kind of perfect, right, for software, like over the years. But why is AI? Why would AI be different?
Yeah, like if you look at demos from, I don't know, Apple and Samsung, they are perfect, right? You go there, very rare you have a problem. And when they have, it's like the whole media goes after them. It's like it's very becomes trending in any place, like when you have a Apple. But the problem these days is that we have a third guy on the demo, which is the LLM. It's not deterministic. So you can, like with the same prompt you have, it sometimes don't 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 produce the same result. So there is this deviation. That's, I think, is the most complication that we have today, which is this third guy in in the demo, right? You have the audience, you have the vendor doing the presentation, and the third guy that's in the back working. It's not like your server, which is, I'm not saying that is an entity conscious or something like that. I'm saying just it's something that has to deal with the human language, and the human language has its problems, and then it causes the nature of the beast, I would say.
But
Right.
this is but like, don't they also have like this third guy, right? This third guy, or the when we say third guy, we mean like AI, right? LLM, or um, it is there doing the demo as well, right?
Right. And for most part, if you look at what the platforms do, right, if Claude and all those guys, they have very scripted demos, and it works. It works
Mhm.
fine for them. The problem that happens is after, right? When you are going to test it, like most of the problems happen not when they are demoing the software. Like if you go, not at the beginning or more, but now you see less and less when you see a demo from Anthropic or any other company, very scripted, pre-recorded. So they have time to make things work. The problem is when you're going to use, and then you as a vendor going to use their model to build your platform. So it's like a third part. And then you as a user, when you're going to use, like there's many layers where you have different information added to the context of the model that sometimes break your experience. So the difference between what you buy when you have a demo and what you see when you use it, there's a lot of intermediate uh, participants in the middle, right? So that's what happened when you do this.
And what would be some of these like midway things that complicate stuff for whoever is using the product, or for whoever is building with AI?
Like gets an example. When someone is using an agent, let's get an example from us. When someone using as an agent that we build, like we try to follow a little bit of the Anthropic idea. So they have their constitution. We have our own prompt that belongs to our business, right? So we say to our agents that they work as an employee of our company, our business, and that tells some behaviors that we all share in our company. Uh, that's sometimes not the same behavior that other companies wants to follow. So when taking a decision, the agent will do a decision based on those principles. So that might not be the same. That's why, like some person will ask, "Oh, I wanted to do this," and the model said, "No, I can't do that because of something." But on their context, not a bad thing. It's just the context, or the model takes a decision differently. Like, I wanted to do this, and then the model decided to do exactly the same thing, but on a completely different path, which gets a different result. So there's many examples of that. Like when you ask a model to get a report from a couple months ago and it doesn't get from the exactly same table as you wanna, because in that context that you passed, the idea that he had in mind was to extract data from a different table. That happens very often. Like, it's one of the edge cases that we most see when building agents.
Isn't I'm going to provoke you a little bit here. Isn't the problem in the, as we say when we joke about this, right? Oh, the problem was the piece in front of the screen, or
Mhm.
isn't the problem the person who's operating it didn't ask the right question, or it sounds like it.
That's the problem. It's not always anymore, right? So we
Okay.
have a different level of what's called. It's a different person between the person between the chair and the keyboard, plus the person between the information and the screen. Now we have a not a person, but an entity that has capabilities of understanding language, which complicates the result. We see most of these cases on when talking with databases. That's definitely something that we see, but with infrastructure too. And then it's a common pattern that. But back to the demo story, right? So what we want to highlight here in this episode today is about the difference between the AI demo and the production. Why there's so much difference between a demo of a product in AI and when you go to production, why there's so many difference. And that's the aspect that I'm trying to highlight. There's more, like in the demo, you had this beautiful path when the rubber hits the road, but you have this, oh, the data is not the same, or the capability of the model is not suitable. Like that version doesn't have the same capability, or there's more capability than what was demoed. And then you have a different outcome and so forth. So there's many, there's
I'm going.
many.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Sorry. I was gonna say I'm gonna stick to my role in being really like boring here. So I will
Okay.
push back because all right. I understand, I hear you, but this is how it's been going for over 30 years, isn't it? Like you have a software demo, they usually will go through the happy path. It will work amazingly, it will be awesome. You will buy the software and it's gonna break, it's gonna suck, it's not gonna be the same thing. They are lying to us for a long time. Why are you saying AI is different? Why would you expect AI to be different? Does that make sense?
It, it's I don't think it's like it's not intentional, right? Everybody, there is no intentional um lie per se. It's like you have this feature, right? I don't know. You have a feature that you need, your business need. There's pressure because this feature will make your business faster. So you wanted to acquire the software. The demo made sense, and then you install, and then you start having problems. Not always because of uh, the software was not supposed or not doing something. Is It's a hard problem. Software was always a hard problem to solve and to begin, right? So the problem that you have was hard too. So there is this period of adaptation that you have with every vendor where you bring the demo to the real life, and then you have this deployment phase where you fine tune and fix the bugs. And it was real there and is real now. The reality is all the software implementation will have problems. The only ones that we're gonna keep is the ones that are faster to fix them, right? So it's not that we will not have problems. Uh, the problems are different with AI now because some of them are not really because of some deterministic fact that we can control. The model itself has its own opinion, let's say.
Okay.
So that is the difference between AI and the previous world. So throughout the entire industry, unless like you have those aggressive companies who keep buying everyone, and we had this in the past with those big giants in software today. But the companies who survived the past, that's an important thing, was not the ones who made the best at the beginning, but the ones able to adapt and resolve the problems, right? Google is famous for throwing software and fixing later, right? So that's a common pattern across the industry. Apple is last, but it's still like you have this learning from the software. Like startups are all about that. So they put your software out, test, figure out what the users really come, the problem that you're solving is really need. And now the AI, it's a runtime experiment. You have this intermediate guy that has its own behavior, which is different, but not unsolvable, we hope.
Okay. And it's not a secret, right? Like people know that. We know that because you're talking about it. And we know that Claude and ChatGPT, their demos are perfect. But when we use it, they do that kind of stuff where they say strawberry has 3 or more R's and they spell it and they still stick to the fact that they have 3 or more R's and they will try and agree with you most of the time. So if everybody knows that, why we still have so much money going, like so much investment, why people are not afraid of this. I don't know if this question makes sense, but what I'm trying to say, why do we keep investing in it? Time, money, learning.
Yeah, I mean, there's the genie is out of the lamp right now, right? So we have this experience as users using a chatbot. When OpenAI launched ChatGPT, we had the real experience of talking with a machine for the first time. We had tests in the past, but not as like end-to-end experience as we had with ChatGPT. And that experience now made everyone believe that it's possible to this technology to transcend to other areas. So there is like a lot of pressure from business, from board members, from like peers because of the FOMO, right? And all this pressure wants to transform that experience that we have individually in business outcome. I think that's the reality. Uh, are we are going to succeed with all this? We still have to see, right? All of them are still struggling to make enough money even to pay for the infrastructure. But that's the whole like you can go be skeptical of like, oh, I don't want to adopt, or I don't like AI. As individual have an experience that can tell us that there is something there. We just all the market is after now transforming that in a business outcome. That's, I think, creates this expectation and all this money and everything that is happening. So is it going to work? It has to, right? We know that it can. Like the technology is enough that convinced us that it's capable of doing a lot of things. We have the results, right? We write every day emails or do financial analysis or um, codes, and like it's the technology is real. We can't tell it's not. It's just how to make it a business. We don't know yet. That's the big question. So we have the demos, but now it's hitting not one business at one time. It's hitting the entire world right now. We have to convert the demo in reality.
And who's to blame for that? Like, because we don't know what to do. Like, is it because we are not ready yet as a humankind, or as professionals? Like, what's the path? Like,
I see like all technologies. Even we have many, like I think we have, I don't know, billion users maybe in AI or something like that, which is, and is like a 5 years technology, something like that. That we everybody, I don't know how old ChatGPT now,
yeah, like 5, I think 4 or 5
4 or
years.
5 years,
Yeah.
something like that, right? Uh it still didn't actually didn't get like to water, right? Everybody uses water every day, right? So it's different. But I don't think we can blame anyone yet. I think is a new thing, and you take time, and you take uh, early adopters to die, to like to, and then adopters to go big. So there's two sides of this coin. There's but the laggers, like even if you think about, like I think a couple months ago or so, Anthropic launched uh, a model to help convert COBOL from IBM or something with IBM, and drop their stocks from IBM for like 10% or something like that. So even the last laggers, that will be the people who are still using COBOL are being affected by this. So it's not that it will change the entire human experience for sure. I hope that's for good, right? We expect that's for good. We see movements that are trying to not be for good, but we have to trust that this thing will be better than it was. So definitely there is a adaptation period, but I don't think we can blame anyone yet.
2 questions then. So you're saying we should buy AI? Like, I guess like everybody is buying AI, right? So people are not going crazy. But can we get like practical here, or specific? Like, we're talking about demos, right? This is the center topic of this conversation. So let's say I have a demo in my calendar in 2 days or tomorrow morning. Somebody's going to pitch a new product to me, and I'm an investor or a potential client, or a potential someone who's going to use it. What do I do differently? Or if I'm presenting it, what do I do differently as well? Like, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, if you are presenting, I guess you still have to do the same workflow as you did before, but also if you're buying, if you're presenting, you should, like, I think that's the most important thing. The same way that we had in the past, where the adoption or the like after a year you're still using the software or the feature, was because the vendor was capable of reacting fast to the problems. And I think because of the number of edge cases of AI, that's the first truth here. Like the first truth, you have to buy from vendors who are reacting fast, because edge cases will come, and there's no way that you get it right at first, because most of the data that the LLMs have access are still in the public domain. So when they connect it to your data in your company, is the first time that they will see something like that, and that produce edge cases by itself. So it's not that it's like because LLM is trained in entire human knowledge. It's not true. Like most of the data is behind walls. So the edge cases are real, and you have to have vendors, and the vendors have to be, like, both scenarios present uh, the reality, which is we're going to have this and we are fast to react. Here's how we did. And on the other side, it's asking for that. Like, how do you deal with edge case with these problems. That's, I think, is the best right now.
Demo versus production. Since we started this conversation, what I got from what you said is there is a big difference between demo and production. Isn't there anybody doing production well? Is there anybody who's presenting a good demo and it's handling production well as well?
I mean, not even Google does that, right? It's like Google is that AI company from the beginning, or from since the beginning. Not even Google is doing that correctly. What companies are doing right, and that is an important thing, is being AI ready. An example, my bank has MCP server, which is like, what? So
Well,
it's unbelievable. So if your company has a software and doesn't have an MCP server, that is a red flag. Like, okay, you may not use AI. That's fine, right? You may not have a feature AI, but not let people, your users, connect their AIs to you. That's a bigger problem. So I think there are companies doing AI right, which are these ones that are open their data or their models or their APIs through AI models, and that can help them stay. Because like the deterministic part of the computing will not disappear. Like we there's no point in training LLM or make LLM do math calculations or count or keep counting items in the database. There's no point in that. We still need a database. So the better way to do AI right now is make sure that your company, through authentication, can follow this have these capabilities, right? And you have many companies like hotels reservations. There's many companies that are doing that right. Yeah, I think that's one way to do right AI these days.
yeah. All right, that's a great answer. Actually, it's hard to push back at a great answer. That was a good one. What do you, Joel, do different in the AI products that you build and your clients build? Is there any secret sauce, or you kind of follow these rules you just mentioned? Is there anything that you do different?
I mean, I try to be as open as possible with the client and asking the same, right? Because we can have meetings and we both, if we're open as possible, we can have outcome that is favorable for both. It's hard sometimes because people are afraid of sharing data with AI or things like that, which is okay. But like we ourselves, we make sure that our models we read the fine print, so we make sure to not expose the data of our clients to be using training data and things like that. So we read our fine prints, we buy the license that are teams or enterprise or whatever. It protects the data of our clients. So like there is a lot of skepticism against that, but like we are following the law, like what's in the fine prints of the contracts, of the agreements that we have. That's important, I think. Then the other part is, and I think we try to do that in our clients, is try to push them to create this shared knowledge. Because the way that I see, every company will have its own AI entity in the future. So the best way that we can start is connecting these AI models with the knowledge that humans are producing. Either you have a shared Dropbox or shared drive that you can have your models, or a GitHub. We use GitHub, a GitHub repository as the base. So every information about the company is there, the producers is there, and the models have access and the human have access. So they can have a shared space, and your teams can have to build skills to build, and that can become the model, like the knowledge base or shared knowledge of entire business. That's one thing that we try to do different in every customer that we touch. It's help them to build this first, and it helps us like on the journey there too.
That's nice, Joe. That's great. We are at 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We
Fast.
we didn't think we were going to last 10. We were
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the result of long time talking about the old podcast that we had, but people don't like beer anymore, so we had to change.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's the good thing about this model as well, right? There is no script per se, right? It's just that subject, and that subject is the map that will drive the conversation, and we don't need to agree necessarily.
Yeah, no, that's the whole idea, right?
It's difficult these days, right? Democracy. Yeah.
Democracy is a difficult thing, but it's a good thing. I mean, I still prefer that.
We agree on that for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So cool. So again, for the last, like the close idea is here, we're gonna do this weekly. We're gonna have 6 episodes next week. We're gonna talk about the nobody is using AI, everybody's lying. There is two sides of this. There's people that are using AI all the way in, and they say they're not using. And there's the opposite. There's people that never use AI, and they say they're not using. Like I pointed out, sometimes you don't have to use AI to be using AI. You just have to be part of the ecosystem, right? So that's an important thing. But that's next week. This is the first time that we're doing live. DM me, let me know if you have me or Rodrigo, if we have anything that we could change. It's a learning process. Again, we are not in the media business, we're in the technology business, but we want to share our stories. We wanted to share your stories too. So 5 episodes from now, we're going to have guests. We hope to have guests. Yeah, thank you, Rodrigo.
Thank you, Joe. And just to make sure, we're not apologizing, right? It's the first episode, but we're not saying sorry.
No, sorry.
If we make mistakes, we're not saying sorry, but we want to learn from those mistakes. So let us know, and we will.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.